Well, financial awareness is much more than just knowing how much money you have in your bank accounts. It's about understanding budgeting, investing, debt management, and planning for the future.
Well, and many times we always say that, oh, I understand my finances, but it's an ocean. And probably if you know a bucket full, I don't know if that is enough. And to answer that question, we've been joined by a very dear friend of our show, Sandeep Jadwani, a financial expert and advisor, someone who knows the pulse of the market and never shies away from teaching it to the people. Sandeep, welcome to TSB.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you for reminding me that it's World Financial Awareness Day. I think this is something that not too many would know. Even I didn't know this, but thanks for reminding. And happy to be here.
That's what we're here for. We're here for to help you. You help us enough. When it comes to financial awareness, people obviously know how much is in their bank account, but why do you think people fall short of really having a proper financial education?
More than education, I think it is understanding relationships, right? Like you are in a relationship with someone. If you understand the other person well, the relationship goes on very well. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, then it may just fall off. Similar is the relationship with money and finances that you should be having. You should be talking more, right? And the crux of the thing is people don't talk about their financials to anyone. They actually, keep it to themselves and put it under the carpet for another day. Where in reality, I think you should be addressing financial planning on the onset. Every time you earn a dirham, you should know exactly how the journey of that dirham will be towards your saving, budgeting, investing, putting it away for paying loans or anything else.
Sandeep, after listening to this line of yours, I've taken out a 20 dirham note from my pocket and I'm trying to tell and talk to it, and I'm telling it to grow up and grow quickly. But doesn't listen to me. What is the language do I need to talk to when I'm talking to my money for it to grow?
You need to have patience first and discipline.
Okay.
You've been a conditioning coach as well. You know that you cannot get fit in one day.
True. Right?
You need to put in tremendous strategies, discipline to it, whether you like it or no, and eventually you will be a fit person.
Mm-hmm.
Such is the relationship with money that you can't expect it to grow overnight. Okay. However, you need to nurture it. You need to ensure that you're disciplined enough. You are, you're doing away with what all your Instagram feeds will show, that people are traveling or purchase new things, new clothes, blah blah blah. But you're holding on to your discipline of a larger goal. So delayed gratification, I would say.
The statistics aren't good. The number of expats that come to the UAE and leave in a worse financial position than when they first came is a little bit scary. I mean, I read one statistic today, which was 44%. So almost half of Americans, and we consider America to be this wealthy nation, nearly half don't have enough cash to cover a $400 emergency should it come along. I think one of the things that people are looking at each year financially, it's getting harder. Things are becoming more expensive. Rent's going up. Wages aren't going up. When people are struggling like that, how then can they keep that focus to maintain their financial literacy?
So, in today's complex financial landscape, achieving financial well-being is a goal shared by many. Whether you're just starting off your financial journey, or probably I would say if you're well on the way, there are few things that everyone should clearly have that. And the first thing is establishing a clear financial plan. So today what happens, it's all in your mind. You say, hey, eventually one day I want to do this, one day I want to do that, which is 5 years from now. And then you say, next day I want to go on a holiday, and this year I want to buy a car, and things like that. But there's no clear financial plan how to do it. These are just goals that you're setting, but you're not actioning it. Mm-hmm. So a clear financial plan is the foundation for a financial well-being. What I would say is start by setting both short-term and long-term goals, and then assign actions to that based on what you're earning. At some point in time, one would say my salary is not enough for me to achieve my aspiring goals. So you would start by investing in yourself, by learning and enhancing your skills. Rather than spending that 2,000 dirhams a year on your coffee, let's say, for example, okay, you would put that 2,000 dirhams away on an online course. Mm-hmm. That will get you to learn more and enhance your skills so that you can earn more eventually.
Sandeep, that's a fantastic actionable that you've mentioned over here, because many a times when you speak to someone who is in the position to advise, or probably is learned enough to understand and know things, they generally tell you that, oh, you know what, you need to start investing, you need to invest in various asset classes, you don't have to put all your money in just one asset class, you need to diversify your investments, and don't just think short term, think long term. All of these are great thought processes, but when it comes to actionables for someone who is starting off, and especially someone who's probably never done any financial investments, and that is almost 70% of the people who are here and listening to our show, the actionables count. That what do I do? I make, say, whatever, 7,000 dirhams, 10,000 dirhams, 50,000 dirhams a month. What is the percentage of it that I need to put in blindly in my savings, investments for my future, so that I know that this is what I start from the first of the next month?
So I'll tell you, the cornerstone of financial health and financial well-being is budgeting. So let's say someone is at a 7,000 dirham salary.
Okay.
What is the person's expense? At this stage, the person's expense would be 70% towards living, okay, which would ideally mean rental, water, electricity, your basic food, and the saving component will be very, very small.
Right.
Okay. And for this sort of a person, I would say, rather than looking at investing, the first thing would be to look at building up the emergency fund.
Okay.
Because that goes beyond investment, because investments are subject to market risks. Okay. What if you were to lose your job? What if there's some, you were gone, there's an accident on your car for which you need to pay, okay? Or there's some other expenses that you're not aware of and that come up. So you need to have an emergency fund first, and then you would start looking at investing. Okay, an emergency fund at any point in time, ideally, should be 6 months of your monthly expenses. So 6 times your monthly expenses.
Okay.
So if your monthly expenses for 3,500, so you need to have 6 times of that, so that you are covered for 6 months. And only after that you would look at allocating towards investments.
I think, unfortunately, that scares a lot of people. But that's the harsh reality of it. And, when you look at that financial literacy of so many people, you really kind of got to assess. And I think it comes down to a lot of things. It's self-discipline to be able to set a budget, because I think it's quite scary how many people don't really have a budget for that week or that month.
Absolutely. So I totally agree. I've actually coached more than 1,500 families as couples, okay, on their financial journey. And what I noticed was they both knew exactly what they were making, but they didn't know where the money was going. Okay, so on the onset, they would only say, oh, we eat only twice or thrice in a week outside. We do not go for big holidays. We go for cheaper holidays. But when you say that, hey, you guys at the family level are making more than 50,000 dirhams, and you unfortunately have no savings. So these are, that's when we come together and say, do you have an emergency fund? And more often than not, you'll realize that these people have said, I had the money, which instead of an emergency fund, I put it in an investment that my colleague was doing, and that investment went for a toss. Okay, so all the money went over there. So they invested without knowing where they were investing.
The old dinner party investment advice.
But then, like you mentioned, that any investment is subject to market risk, and the volatility of the market will always dictate that. The risk factor will always be there. But then, is there something that then comes into play which de-risks your investments?
So if we follow these, I'll quickly chalk out, let's say, 7 steps. Okay, if we follow these 7 steps, I am more than 100% sure, if there's a number, okay, that you will always be on the right side of the risk. Okay, you will always be comfortable even if you've lost some money anywhere. Okay. So the first thing would actually be to create a financial plan that we spoke about.
Right.
Second would be the budgeting. Third will be creating an emergency fund. Okay, you need to have that. Only after that will you think about putting your money away towards an investment.
Okay.
The fourth thing is, after your emergency fund you've created, you budgeted. So this will take good 1 year for you to start putting your money to invest, because you're still getting your house in order. Right? So the fourth step is invest wisely. Do not just go in for any dinner table advice. You go for You spend time with your advisor, block your time, say these are the 2 hours that I need with my advisor to put a plan in place. Okay, today there are multiple applications available through which you can understand what the risks you're taking and how to discipline yourself, and automate your investments and savings. Automate it. Don't just be manual that every month once my salary comes in, I will manually transfer money to my investment account. No, automate it so that you know it's going out. Okay. My fifth point would be minimizing your debt, particularly high interest bearing debt like your credit cards. So try taking out a personal loan, clearing out all unsecured loans so that you've consolidated your debt and paying a lower interest rate on your debt. Okay. Then would be have your short-term, medium-term, and long-term buckets. The long-term will be your retirement. Let's say you are 30 years old today. Your retirement will be 30 years from now. So you'll take a larger risk on that 30-year pot, but you'll take a much lower risk on your 2-year pot.
I can't do that. I've got to spend all my money to make sure people don't know I'm broke. That's the problem. That's the issue people get into, specifically in Dubai, to spend all that money to look good on the outside and, make sure you're showy. But Sandeep, it is fantastic to get your insights. They're so basic and they're so simple. It just seems so strange that people don't want to follow them.
Absolutely. It's important to review and adjust the plan, periodically, because investments and financials don't remain stagnant. They're very dynamic. So though your plan could be very good, but probably if you want to tweak some things inside, if things have gone wrong, because understand this thing, your advisor will also not be a magician. So if he said something in good faith, probably things have changed. Like what happened 2 weeks ago, where Japanese markets fell 15%, US markets fell 10%. And people who invested, just started their investment journey, started with a 15% negative, right?
Right.
So not that the advisor meant anything wrong, but it's just the market dynamics. And hence, this was a long-term investment pot.
Well, Sandeep, we do appreciate your comments. Today is Financial Awareness Day. So, Sandeep Jadwani, we always appreciate your time and your expertise.
Thank you so much, guys. And, happy Financial